guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth Ann and welcome to today's video, which is going to be, I'm gonna have to sit back a little bit. There we go. It's going to be a most anticipated reads for 2026, which I'm very excited about. I think I did this a couple years ago. I don't remember, but I've been watching everyone's and I'm so excited. I'm not doing like a huge amount. Like, let's look. Okay, so I have 18 books in total. So let's just get cozy and talk about the books. I'm so excited. So I did sort of tier it. So I have 2, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 that, or 7, right? 7, 2, 4. I have 8 that I'm very excited about that I 100% will be reading. Like, these will be devoured by myself. Like, I'm so excited to read these books. So these are my 100 booked and ready to go books that I will be reading without a doubt. Okay, so starting off strong, we're going to start with Lila Sage's second book in the Soul Searching series. I just finished the first book. I enjoyed it. It was my favorite book ever, but it wasn't my favorite book ever, but it's one of those books that I can kind of like swap in when I need a little mindless read. And this is I think it's the only book on here that I don't have any information on. It is just book number 2 in Sweetwater Peak. There's no information, no cover, but it is coming out, I think, August 2026. So very excited for that. Up next is quite a controversial book that I have on my TBR, but I'm so intrigued and I need to read it. And that is Just Friends by Haley Pham. If you guys don't know, Haley Pham is a very famous booktuber. She's been creating book content. I've been watching her content since she was like started. Like, I think I started watching her, I guess, like right after she started, because I thought she was kind of like rivaled Emma Chamberlain, and I really enjoyed her editing and everything. And she was literally, I think, like 15 or 16. Anyway, the point of the story is it has not been that well received, and people are a little up in arms for many things, but one of them being that like there's all these indie small authors that have great content and we keep giving book deals to book talkers. So TBD to see where I stand when I read that. This heartwarming and swoon-worthy second chance romance about childhood friends reconnecting as adults is the highly anticipated debut novel from book talk icon Haley Pham. Blair and Declan were inseparable growing up, best friends who knew each other better than anyone else. But when an impulsive kiss took them from friends to something more, everything changed. Just as quickly as their romance started, one moment shattered it all, leaving them with nothing but heartbreak and silence. Now, 4 years later, Blair is back in their coastal hometown of Seabrook to support her mom and care for her great Aunt Lottie as her health declines. To make ends meet, Blair applies to work at a coffee shop only to discover that it's managed by none other than Declan, the boy she loved, the boy she lost, the boy who still makes her heart race. As Blair's path keeps crossing with Declan's, old wounds resurface, secrets are revealed, and sparks reignite. But could their future ever be free of their past? Told in dual timelines that unravel the magic and pain of first love. Just Friends is a moving, romantic story about second chances, the weight of dreams, and finding your way back to the people who feel like home. Okay, I'm very intrigued. Up next, you guys know Annabelle Monaghan is one of my favorite authors ever. I just requested this on NetGalley, and it is her new book, Dolly All the Time. It comes out May 26, 2026. Also, I didn't mention when Just Friends comes out. I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen. And Dolly All the Time is from New York Times bestselling author of Nora Goes Off a Script, a romance about a single mother who's offered a pretty woman type deal that's too good to refuse. If they begin by pretending, can they end with something real? Dolly Brick has never met a problem she couldn't solve. Not when her mom left when she was 12, and not at 39 when she moves back with her son to Whitfield, Rhode Island for the summer to keep her dad and brother from losing the family home. So when she comes across Stuart Whitfield, annoyingly handsome Scion, I don't even know how to say that, of the Whitfield family, with a flat tire and at the wrong end of a very public, very humiliating breakup, it's in her nature to help. But Stuart's proposed arrangements ends being more than either of them bargained for, because as public dinners and high society benefits turn into sunset boat rides and swinging on the porch, Dolly starts to feel something more than helpful. She's never relied on anyone besides herself. Can she really start now? Very excited for that one. Next is Carly Fortune's new book, and I just watched someone's video where they were talking about it, and it sounds so good. It's giving like people we meet on vacation. Um, sort of, not really, but it's called All Perfect Storm. Best friends have 1 week in paradise to fix their friendship or fall apart in this heart-stopping, utterly romantic new novel from the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Every Summer After and One Golden Summer. Frankie and George have been best friends since they were 8 years old, both passionate, impulsive, and headstrong. They've always clashed and come back together. Until now. It's the eve of Frankie's wedding weekend, and she doesn't know where they stand or even if George will show up as her best man. Then at the start of the festivities, in walks George. For one glorious evening, surrounded by their loved ones, Frankie's life is finally perfect, but it all comes crashing down when her fiancé dumps her the next morning, leaving only a note as an explanation. Crushed and confused, Frankie returns to her family's home to wallow, but George has a different idea and a plan for healing Frankie's broken heart. He wants her to go on her honeymoon with him for 1 week to the lush rainforest and misty beaches of Tofino. Frankie agrees, seeing the trip for what it really is, one last chance to repair their friendship, even if that means unearthing secrets, long buried feelings neither knows how to handle, even if that means falling apart for good. Okay. Yes. Next, I have read one of her Christmas books. I really want to read Snowed In this winter, which is another one of her Christmas books. I've started, but I just haven't like gotten into it because I've been reading NetGalleys and everything. But this is by Catherine Walsh, and it is How to Write a Love Story. I did request it on NetGalley, got denied. Anyway, it comes out March 10th. And it says the newest book from bestselling author and Kindle Unlimited sensation Catherine Walsh, in which in which an ambiguous editor travels to Ireland to help the daughter of a fantasy author legend complete her father's final book, only to fall in love with her in the process. Sierra Sheridan's father has left her with 3. I'm sorry. Maddie was talking about this Goodreads like things. Goodreads like bios and descriptions sometimes are like, what does this even say? Okay, give me a second. I think it meant 3 things. Sierra Sheridan's father has left her with 3: a sprawling and distinctly ramshackle estate on the Irish coast, the outline for a finale to his best-selling epic fantasy series that he wanted her to finish, and writer's block. Enter Sam Frank Sheridan, fanboy and hotshot editor sent from New York publishing house direct to Sierra's booksteps. Sierra was expecting a crusty old-timer, so the handsome young American is a surprise. And for his part, Sam was expecting Sierra to have written something by now. Sierra and Sam have 2 weeks of the hottest Irish summer on record to write a novel together and secure Frank's legacy. But will their own love story become a plot twist neither of them see coming? Yeah, sign me up. And next, okay, I started to read her latest book, which I guess is it Say You'll Remember Me? I could not read it because of things going on in the book triggering at the time. Anyway, so I've never read Abby Jimenez. I tried to read one of her books, not Say You Remember Me, but it was one of her earlier books, and I just didn't love it. And I think I DNF'd it. But everyone keeps saying like I should read it because I love Emily Henry. Anyway, the point is, this was not on my radar until I heard the plot. One thing about me is I am here for the toxic, like, give it to me. Something borrowed, give it to me. One Day in December. Like, anyway, Magnolia Parks. Anyway, so this is Abby Jimenez's new book, and it's The Night We Met. It's the second in the Say You'll Remember Me series, and every single person that I've watched like recording their most anticipated when they go to read this, they're like, wait a damn minute, what? And yeah, from New York Times bestselling author of Say You'll Remember Me comes a beautiful, compelling novel that revels in laughter, friendship, and the messy choices life can throw our way. In everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything. For Larissa, it came when choosing which guy to ride home with after a concert. That night, she had no idea she'd met the perfect man. She and Chris are great together, co-parenting, slightly unhinged co-parenting a slightly unhinged rescue Yorkie, sharing their favorite books, and judging bread. For the first time, amid all her side hustles to scrape by, things finally feel easy. But Chris isn't the one who drove Larissa home those months ago. Chris is her boyfriend's best friend. All Chris wants for wants is for Larissa to be happy. Standing by on the sidelines is slowly killing him, but making a move would destroy someone else. And he's just not that guy. Gagged. Up next is The Unknown by Riley Sager. If you know me, you know I am a Riley Sager stan. I recommend The Only One Left to almost anyone. Not almost anyone. I recommend it to anyone that asks me for a thriller recommendation. This one comes out August 4th. Oh, I forgot to say. The Night We Met comes out March 31st. Back to The Unknown. I love Riley Sager's books. Let's just get into it. This is a really long description, so please excuse me. In 1926, 5 women disappeared from a remote island in Vermont. Now, 100 years later, it's happening again. Struggling actress Maren Keene is shocked when she lands the role in a major motion picture about the unsolved mystery of New Avalon, an island on a sprawling Lake Faraday in Vermont. She's even more surprised when she learns that the role requires a week-long research trip to that very spot, because New Avalon isn't your ordinary island. A century ago, it was a commune for spiritual mediums until they all vanished in 1926. The only trace of them were 5 dresses hanging from the branches of an old oak tree in the middle of the island, one for each missing woman. Some locals say they simply left, others say they were murdered, but the prevailing option, thanks to the diary left behind by one of the vanished, a young woman named Daisy Rue, is that a seance gone wrong conjured something supernatural that took them all one by one. Not long after arriving, this sounds familiar to a James Patterson book I read. Not long after arriving, Maren and her castmates, including legendary actress Violet Wright and white hot director Ronan Peters, begin to realize all is not right with New Avalon. They hear strange noises in the night. They notice mysterious symbols left behind the island's previous occupants. And wait, gotta find it. And after a sudden health emergency leaves Maren, Ronan, and the other actors stranded on the island, the disappearances begin again. Is it the work of someone trying to derail the movie, or is it the island's alleged supernatural past catching up with the present? As fear and suspicion mount, Maren turns to Daisy's diary, hoping the key to figure out what's really happened to the women of New Avalon and how to keep Island's terrible history from repeating itself. Sounds better than amazing. Like, I don't even know what to say. That sounds so good. And I think this is last. Yeah. Last but not least on my 100% reading it is Mary Kay Andrews' new book. It is called Road Trip. And guess what? When I saw that one of my favorite authors ever was writing a book based in Ireland, and hey, I was moving to Ireland in a few months, I was shook. So I love Mary Kay Andrews. Okay, we're switching to the iPhone because my camera's overheated. So back to Road Trip. Maeve and Therese Dunn again are sisters, but the two have been estranged for years. They could not be more opposite. Maeve, a rule follower, and Therese, a rebel. But when their mother's death brings the family back together, the two find that they have inherited a painting, one that could be worth millions and could save each of them from their respective wolves at the door. The only issue is the painting might be fake, and the only way they can solve this problem is to find the original. This means a road trip to Ireland, to their family roots, and to the mysterious crime that occurred many years ago. With tensions shimmering, the two hit the road and find themselves on twisty lanes in colorful villages, at local pubs, and with handsome men whose gift of gab is surpassed only by their charm. Can Maeve and Therese find the real painting, remove a family curse, solve a cold case, and actually survive without killing each other? Join Mary Kay Andrews on a road trip that will entertain you for miles. Yes. I'm so excited to read that. So I don't know if I should call them tiers because it's literally just like 2. But basically, it's divided into 100% reading, and might read this, really want to read this. Sparked my interest. Also, a lot of my like anticipated 2026 books, or not a lot, but a few of my anticipated books I've read on NetGalley. So what's a girl to do? Anyway, so let me just tell you the second group of books. Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. It Should Have Been You by Andrea Mara. This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum. Once and Again by Rebecca Searle. Sarah, I don't know how to say her name. Getting Away with Murder by Sherry Lapina. The Island Club by Nicola Harrison. The Daisy Chain Flower Shop by Laurie Gilmore. It's Not Her by Mary Kubeca. How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. And This Book Made Me Think of You. And I do want to give a huge shout out to This Book Made Me Think of You because I found that through NetGalley. So that's very exciting. Okay, up next is Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. I saw an editor talk about like 10 books you need to keep an eye out because they're going to take the world by storm this year. And this was one of them. And essentially, she described it as like a trad wife, like thriller, I think. I can't remember, but I'll link it down below if I can find it. An American, no, a traditional American woman, a beautiful wife, and a mother who sells her pioneer lifestyle of raw milk and farm fresh eggs to her millions of social media followers suddenly awakens cold, filthy, and terrified in the brutal reality of 1805, where she must unravel whether this is living nightmare is an elaborate hoax, a twisted reality show, or something far more sinister in the sensational debut novel. Is It Should Have Been You by Andrea Mara. And actually a lot of these are thrillers. So I'm more of like a mood read thriller. Like I'm not always gonna read all the ones that I see, but if I'm in the store, I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. Read a few pages, and I'm like, yeah, you have me hooked. Then I'm gonna pick it up. Your neighbors have secrets. How far would they go to keep them? A simple, ordinary mistake explodes into a suburban nightmare in this hugely compelling one-sitting read packed full of thrilling moments and genuinely surprising twists. Andrea Mara is at the very top of her game. You press send and your message disappears. Full of secrets about your neighbors, it's meant for your sister, but it doesn't reach her. It goes to the entire local community WhatsApp group instead. As rumor spreads like wildfire through the picture perfect neighborhood, you convince yourself that people will move on, that this will quickly be forgotten. But then you receive the first death threat. The next day, a woman has been murdered. And what's even more chilling is that she had the same address as you, 26 Oak Park, but in a different part of town. Did the killer get the wrong house? It won't be long until you find out. That comes out May 8th. I kind of keep forgetting to say when all these are coming out, but that comes out May 8th. The Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum. And I was intrigued because it's love/mystery, and I love a love/mystery. The Story Might Save Your Life is one of the best thrillers I've read this year. New York Times bestselling author of Listen to Me Lie, a heart-pounding thriller, Benny Abbott and Joy Moore host one of the most beloved podcasts in the world. Each week, they delight listeners in a different, against all odds survival story, gleefully finding weird, life-affirming humor and near-death experiences. Since their first episode on Joy's experience with severe narcolepsy, they've been best friends everyone wants to befriend. And thanks to the meticulous management of Joy's husband, Xander, they built a lucrative empire. The problem is their next survival story may be their own. When Benny arrives at Joy and Xander's one morning to record, he finds shattered glass in an empty house. The one clue shedding the light on the couple's disappearance is the incomplete, previously unseen first draft of Joy's memoir. Benny will stop at nothing to find them, even as police zero in on him as their prime suspect. Millions of devoted listeners think they know the real Benny and Joy, but as hours tick by, and the odds seem increasingly stacked against Joy and Xander being found alive, not even the most devoted fans could guess the terrible secrets their favorite famous BFFs have hidden from the world and from each other. Okay, once again, if you guys know me, you know that One Italian Summer is one of my favorite summer reads I read when I first got back into reading, and I love the author. I've tried one other book, but when I saw this, I was like, you know what? I should probably give her a try again. And this comes out March 10th. The women of the Novak family were each born with a gift. They can just once turn back time. Lauren has known since she was 15 that her mother Marcella saved Lauren's father from a deadly car accident. Dave is alive and happy and out in the Malibu waves. But ever since Marcella, her power spent has this is exactly what I'm talking about. Her power spent has lived in fear of what she won't be able to reverse. Her own mother, Sylvia, is her polar opposite, a free-spirited iconoclast with a glamorous past she only hints at. Lauren has spent her life between these two role models and waiting for her own catastrophe to strike. Then one summer, Lauren's husband takes a job in New York and she moves back to Broad Beach Road, back into her childhood home of the shores of Malibu. Lauren looks forward to surfing with her dad again and perhaps repairing an unspoken fracture in their relationship with her mother. What she doesn't expect is for the boy next door to return home as well, Stone, Lauren's first love, who broke her heart nearly a decade before. As Lauren falls into familiar patterns with her family and more dangerously Stone, she finds herself thinking about all the choices, large and small, that have brought her to this moment and wondering, finally, if one of them should be undone. Um, Gagged. It's giving she wants her marriage to be undone. Just kidding. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that sounds good. Next I saw on TikTok. Actually, I'm gonna say that this might have been in the video as well, but it's called The Island Club by Nicola Harrison. And there's another one that I'm reading right now that I think she talked about or I saw somewhere else. It's a NetGalley book, and it's got me sucked in. It is called The Wives Club, I think. Comes out in 2026. It's so good so far. It's really hard for me to put it down every time I have to like put it down to focus. But anyway, The Island Club by Nicola Harrison comes out April 28th. And where? Okay, an unputtable novel. What? An unputdownable novel of love's lost and found, shocking secrets, and the power of female friendship. 1956. On idyllic Balboa Island, just off the California coast, life seems peaceful and welcoming. But when the lives of three women begin to unravel in shockingly different way, an unlikely friendship and a game of tennis may be the only thing that can save them. Millie Kincaid's plan to fix her crumbling marriage seems to be falling apart before it even begins. She believed that moving her young family from Hollywood to Balboa Island might entice her increasingly distant husband to come home earlier after work. Instead, he's barely coming home at all. Society matriarch Sylvia Johnson and her husband have been pillars of the community for decades. They've just recently begun a new business venture, the Island Club, a place for members to swim, play tennis, and dine in style. But when she learns that he has been risking their financial security and putting their family's future in grave danger, she's not only poised to lose the club, but the entire community she holds dear. Meanwhile, standoffish loner Adele Lambert's entire world is on the brink of being destroyed if dark secrets from her past and her hidden identity is revealed. 20 years ago, she ran from a shameful scandal and left behind the only thing she ever loved. Now, terrified that the anonymity that she spent decades guarding will be exposed, but desperate to stay afloat, she risks everything to return to the game that brought her to her knees all those years before. Set against the sun-drenched beaches of Balboa Island and its prim and proper 1950s facade, the Island Club is a story of love, loneliness, and the lies we tell ourselves, and what can be gained when the truth is finally revealed. Once again, sounds so good. Now, this is just like a funsies one. You know me, I've read like 3 from the Pumpkin Spice, like, what's this? I can't think of the series name. Dream Harbor series. I like the first one. I haven't really liked any of the other ones, so I don't know actually why I added this to my list, but I thought it'd be a fun one to have on there if I need like a quick read. This one is called The Daisy Chain Flower Shop, and it comes out May 5th. A lot of these books are May. It says, the greatest love is the one you never expected to find. Daisy is fed up with being unlucky in love, and after several weddings, she has done flowers for in divorce. Her beloved flower shop has gained a reputation of being cursed, thanks to Mayor Kelly and his infamous visions. Dream Harbor newcomer Elliot has been adjusting to town life following his own relationship turmoil, and now he's avoided the flower shop at all costs. If the mayor's correct, he doesn't need any more bad luck in his life. But with his family coming to visit, Elliot finds himself reluctantly in front of Daisy's store in need of the flowers. As the petals blossom in the sunlight, Daisy and Elliot might find that love comes when you're least expecting it. The Daisy Chain Flower Shop is a cozy romantic story with a fake relation dynamic in a small town setting, and HEA guaranteed. What does that mean? Let's see. Next is Mary Quebeca. I don't know how to say her name, but I've read one of her books. It's not like a woman. Actually, I think I did read Like a Woman Missing, but I can't think of the book I read, and I actually really liked it. It's one that got me back into reading thrillers. But her new book comes out in February 3rd. It's called It's Not Her. And it says, 2 families vacationing on a secluded lake resort are at the center of a chilling crime and mysterious disappearance in this twisty, unputdownable thriller. A stunning discovery. Courtney Gray's tranquil family vacation is shattered when she hears a blood-curdling scream from the lakeside cottage next door. There she finds the lifeless bodies of her brother and sister-in-law. Her teenage niece, Reese, is now nowhere to be found, while her nephew, Wyatt, sleeps upstairs unharmed. A shocking investigation as the police descend into the quiet resort town, disturbing secrets about Courtney's family start to emerge. When she learns the town has secrets of its own, it makes her wonder if Reese is another victim in a brutal crime or if she's the killer. A truth that no one could have imagined. As Courtney begins to unravel the terrible mystery, she realizes that everyone around her has something to hide. And the closer she gets to the truth, the harder it is to see. So, yeah, I fear I'm going to need to read that. If there's a lake involved, I'm going to read it. Next is obsessed with this cover. Been seeing it all over. How to Kill a Guy in 10 Days. Obviously, it's a thriller. It comes out February 3rd. A humorous, swoony, and downright terrifying horror romance in which a young woman gets caught in the middle of a murder spree at a speed dating event must use her encyclopedic knowledge of the horror genre to make it a real life final gore. You know what? I don't like horror, so she's getting kicked off the list. This one's for me, so we're gonna Control Alt Delete that. Last one, like I said, this is one that I found on NetGalley. It's called This Book Made Me Think of You. When I saw the title, I said, that's the cutest thing I've ever heard. And it is by Lily Page. Comes out February 3rd. 12 stories, 12 months, one chance to heal her heart. When Tilly Nightingale receives a call telling her there's a birthday gift from her fiance waiting for her at her local bookshop, it couldn't come as any more of a shock, partly because she can't remember the last time she read a book for pleasure, mainly because Joe died 5 months ago. The gift is simple: 12 carefully chosen books from Joe, one for each month to help her turn the page on her first year without him. Tilly sets out on a series of reading-inspired adventures that take her around the world. But as she begins to vlog her journey, her story becomes more than her own. With help from Alfie, the bookshop owner, her budding new following, and her friends and family, can Tilly's year of books show her how to love again? Okay, stop, I'll cry. And this is my worst fear. How long have I been talking to end this? And this is why I have trust issues. Like, I cannot. My microphone died. I'm gonna go now. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Most anticipated reads. I'm sure there's a lot more, and there's a lot like I'm forgetting. But that's it for now. Thanks for listening to me gab about all the books I want to read this year. Okay, I love you guys. See you in the next video.